Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are tying up a very realistic Mayfly nymph that is extremely well done, but very simple to do. So we want to have kind of a curved hook, and we start off with just adding some strong, light thread to the hook. And I'm going to speed up the process where you can save some time to make this tutorial as quick and simple as possible. So we're adding some nymph skin. That's like the key material to this fly. And we just add it in the middle of the fly. We tie it in, and then we basically pull the skin and go all the way down here to the end of the fly. Pretty much there. We secure it a little bit, and we are going to make a dubbing loop at the bottom of the fly, because we're going to add this very, very realistic look with some dubbing to it. And we whip finish and we put in our dubbing router in the loop. We're adding some thicker thread to basically build the body, and the color combination of the thread doesn't really matter. If you want it to be more translucent, to have some effect to it, you can add some different colors like green or yellow or something like that. And we are basically building up the body, and meanwhile we do that. If you're new to the channel, you're more than welcome to subscribe and hang out here. We have all kind of different patterns we tie here on the channel, and we have a lot of more of them coming. And as you can see here, we want it to be a little bit thicker in the back and a little bit slimmer in the front, and that's why we want to build this rising back of the fly pretty much. I want it to be very realistic, and if it's a little bit curved with a little bit of thick underbody, it's going to look better. We add back the strong thread to the fly because we're going to tie everything in, and we want it to be secured very well. And what we do here is that we just basically wrap the nymph around, and you can see the brown in the back there. I just added some glue. Since my camera actually died, I had to remove that part. I'm going to speed up the process a little bit. So we just want to have a decent segmentation here, and we do the same laps, and we pull a little bit with the skin because it makes it a little bit more translucent and good looking if the skin is a little bit stretched to the fly. We do one lap and we keep tension here in the front, and we tie it in and pull a little bit, and we just cut off the excess. And already now we kind of have a little grub, but we're going to build forward on this fly. We add a brown color marker in this case, and we kind of just dot around a little bit with it all around the skin here. And also I use my fingers to pull a little bit on the skin. It makes it not so shiny, it makes it a little bit more matte color when you do that. If you want it to be shiny and very translucent, you can add UV resin to the fly or some kind of coating to it. But in this case, we're not going to do that. We just want the body to be brown pretty much. We tilt the fly, and now we're going to add the dubbing to the sides of the fly. It kind of looks like gills. So we spin with the router. You can also have a normal dubbing loop. And what we do here is that we take the thread and we go between the segmentation very carefully here. And we take some time doing it because we want it to look properly. Because since we did the segmentation, this thin thread can go between the segmentation pretty much, so it will still have this realistic look. You can't see the thread. So that's what we're gonna do. And when we get to the front, we're just gonna tie it in, just like this. We're gonna tilt back the fly very soon. Just gonna cut off the excess here, and now it looks a little bit dumb in my opinion, so that's why we're gonna cut it off, and we kind of get this realistic look of the gills in the back of a big mayfly. And they will stick there forever, and it will look even better when the fly is wet. You can also make caddis flies this way, actually. So we tilt it a little bit, and we're going to cut it a little bit more. We have some sparse fibers in the back that I want to remove. I have a very slim blade on my scissor, which helps me to do this kind of techniques. You don't need it to be curved, but it kind of helps sometimes when you have these kind of realistic flies with some bending to it or something like that. It kind of helps a little bit. I am happy with this, so we're gonna just cut a little bit more there. We tilt back the fly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to add the front of the fly, and we add a little bit more nymph skin, which is going to be the shell back of the fly. So we just put it on the fly and we tie it in as much as we can towards the front. And then one of the key moments to make the fly look very, very realistic is gonna be in the end of the video, which you probably haven't tried before. So we add a little bit more of dubbing, make a slim dubbing noodle, because we want to add the dubbing first before we add the legs. It's just because it's going to blend in so much more nicer on the fly. So we just add a little bit of dubbing right here, and we pull a little bit with the nymph skin meanwhile we do that. And now we add some partridge, and the feather should look something like this. You want to have an even amount on each side of the fibers, and we are going to tie in it upside down, because we're just gonna fold the feather forward and the legs will be complete already. You don't need to cut and fix a lot of different things. It's just very, very simple to do it this way. So we cut it upside down with the front towards the front, if you understand me. You can see the feather, how it's looking right there. We add a little bit more of dubbing, and this is a custom made dubbing by me, which is in 2 different ways, and you can find both of them in the description. And I just hand mix it because we don't need much at all. But it's 2 different kind of dubbings, which makes it look very, very sweet. So we add the dubbing, pull a little bit in the end, and now we're going to see here when we fold the feather. Well, first we're gonna just brush out a little bit so the fibers kind of sticks out and towards the sides. It's a little bit harder to do that when the legs are attached, so that's why we do it now. And now we just fold the feather forward, pull the fibers backwards and pinch. I'm sorry that my camera is a little bit weird here, but you understand the thing. And we just tie it in close to the hook eye. Now the legs are in place, but we're going to fix them. They look very buggy right now, and this is not the way we want them to be. So I have a very sweet technique for you to fix your legs on your flies. So we pull over the nymph skin, and we do 1 lap close to the hook eye, and we pull a little bit meanwhile we do that, and keep tension. Pull the fibers backwards, and we tie it in and pull really hard so it really sticks to the hook. Pull and cut off the nymph skin, and we're going to secure it a little bit more. We whip finish, and we're going to do the last thing here on the fly to make it look exactly as we want. And you can do this with all of your mayflies or caddis flies or whatever you use this technique I'm going to show you. So we're going to tilt the fly and add some heat to a dubbing needle. So look at the legs now. I'm basically heating up the needle and I just pull downwards a little bit. And you can see that the legs are transforming and go exactly the way as I want them to go. So we just pull a little bit and press on them, and the legs are basically exactly in the way I want them. And when you look at the fly, you can see that they go a little bit backwards, and this is exactly what we want. So we just paint the shell back here a little bit with brown, and the fly is pretty much done. We're gonna see the end results here in just a second. And this is how buggy and nice the fly looks, and it just catches a lot of fish. So I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial today, and I'll see you in the next one.